Hola, bonjour, and mabuhay, everybody. You are listening to Worldwide Tea. It is the one and only podcast that covers every international season of RuPaul's Drag Race that is currently airing. And trust us, if you're watching Brazil, don't lie to us you're not, because we're doing the work for you, rest assured. As always, I'm Evan Sadi from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory from the playlist, and I believe if you're from Brazil, you're watching Brazil. I'm not sure if anyone else is watching Brazil.
That is very, very fair. And y'all, we feel a little bit of weight lifted off our shoulders. Things are a little bit calmer now. The
For the moment,
incredible. In a
for the
moment, for a
moment,
moment, I know. The incredible All Stars France just barely ended. And in case you have not checked it out, please listen to our episode or go to our YouTube to see our exclusive interview with the winner of that entire franchise. It's really, really fun. But right now, there's only two things airing. There's going to be Brazil, and you know what? It's Brazil. We're going to catch up with that later. But right now, y'all, Slaysian Royale, it just keeps slaying. I don't know how it's able to do this, but it is an incredible and wonderful and journey and ride. Overall, though, Greg, we just finished All Stars France, which I thought was top tier.
yeah.
What are you thinking about Slaysian Royale so far?
Well, listen, I want to let our fans know first of all who's watching, and we see you, and we're so happy that you're watching us, especially on YouTube or listening to us on the podcast. Please follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us if you can, and also
Hmm.
check out some of our other episodes. Not to segue really quick, but we've done some great episodes where we picked who we thought should be on the next round of Global All Stars. We did a whole episode where we picked the best lip syncs in the history of international drag race, which I believe there was a couple Philippine entries on
Hmm.
that list.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could be correct. But I have to say this: the production value on this season of Slaysian Royale is it's not a big jump, but it's a nice evolution for the series so far. Every year, it just keeps getting better and better and better, and I'm super impressed with it. And this episode, I was so excited about it because I sort of knew it was going to happen. So I got off the plane. I'm here in Toronto for the Toronto Film Festival, and I'm in this rented apartment with this stunning, beautiful light. But I'm like, we have to talk about it because I can't wait till Tuesday to talk about
No,
this episode.
we can't let our fans down.
No.
But if our fans are listening, then there's one thing that they probably know about us outside of our names and maybe our street addresses too, because we've been doxxed. The one thing that they probably know is that in this house of love, we believe that
Yes.
all drag is valid and no one ever deserves online hate. And as American entertainment journalists, we're not going to get every cultural reference, and we always appreciate corrections, whether it's in the comments or at worldwideteapod.bsky.social. And there are some truly great queens who simply aren't good at drag race, and we celebrate them all the same. But Greg, we are back in the workroom right now. Ivory Glaze has left, and I remember her crying a lot. That's going to be the legacy that I remember from her time. And honestly, when people are gathered around the workroom mirror at the start of episode 4 of Slaysian Royale, they're not too sad about it, though. Although initially, there's the celebration for Kitty because Kitty's like, I went home episode 3 on my season, and here I am at the top of episode 3 for my season. Really, really cool, really awesome. And then the mood changes because what does she reveal for her lipstick, Greg?
Well, she reveals that she was going to send home Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to send Arizona home because Ivory was her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And in the confessionals, I believe it was you, I think, or maybe it was no, I actually it was Venus maybe who said that how could you be friends with her for so quick? Because to be honest, it hasn't been 4 weeks.
It has
It's
not been four
really been
weeks.
like it's been maybe
Secrets.
2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. And yeah, and Arizona insists she's not mad.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's not mad about it, that she gets it. She said that she would respect her choice and it would be noted in the future. And I'm not gonna say that the producers, while they were watching this on the as the feeds came in, said, okay, we have a storyline this week. But they might have just said that when they saw that.
Right. Like it was pretty obvious, but also let's just kind of dig into the actual grit of this whole season over here because it really is Philippines versus the world, if we're being fully honest. It is basically
Yeah.
the Pinoy girls versus the international girls, but I actually don't blame any of the girls for what's happening. I kind of blame production a little bit just because when it comes to picking international queens, what do we have for Pinoy girls? We have fan favorites, we have runners ups, we have some people who have excelled in their competition. And when it comes to the international girls, we've had finished seventh. We have first out. Like it's a different kind of
Suki was the
bracket.
top two.
Suki is absolutely no questioning, and we love that Siam is getting a nice redemptive moment on here. I
Yes.
think that's fantastic. But overall, like as much as like there is still kind of this branching out between the international girls and the Pinoy girls, I think there's a little bit that production had to do with it. With that said, there is a preview next week. We'll get to that in a second. That might blow
Well,
that up a little bit.
the,
Go ahead.
the only thing I want to say is in that context, we talked about this actually, I think,
I
last
think last
week
week.
or maybe
Yeah.
the week before, is I do really think that they tried to fill out, that they picked my guess is they picked whoever, they saved some queens clearly for future
Hmm.
seasons or future verses or whatever,
Miss
but that
Jade. So.
but they tried to pick the queens uh they picked the Philippines queens that they wanted first. And then I think they looked at, okay, what else do we need in the cast to sort of fill this in?
Hmm.
I also am super curious if a lot of other Asian queens in maybe some other countries might have turned them down. Like there's
Fully
no guarantee.
possible. Yeah.
It, we're assuming River Medway didn't say she wanted to go, but
Right.
also WoW is super loyal, and they're gonna
Hmm.
want someone like Sung Won. They want to give them a chance.
Hmm.
And would could is Yuha getting the most safest like run of like all time that I've seen in like forever? Like, but again, I'm telling you, I'm convinced there was a wink, wink. Don't you worry about it unless you really fuck up. We're not gonna fly you all the way there for no money to like we need you to represent the US. And Yuha is there to for the English viewers and
Hmm.
any American viewers who are watching who weren't hardcore Philippines fans beforehand, and to sort of like be a recognizable face that they know that they can be like, oh, Yuha's there, she's funny.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I get it, but I I'm convinced next season will be better. And also, there's one queen, although this is the other thing. I think next season they have to not be afraid to have two queens from the same country on this. Meaning, like, why couldn't it be Suki and Melinda Berga? Why couldn't it have been Suki and Aurora? Like, I
Hmm.
feel like that makes it more competitive, but also it's the first season in the Philippines, and Philippines is basically being told, you're not getting an All Stars, we're giving you versus the world. And they're probably like, well, fuck this. Like, we want to win. Like,
Right.
you can't throw us under the bus in our own country. So I get
And
it. Like, it makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, and also
And
as we've seen, the viewing numbers have already blown that out of the water of just
yeah.
like people are fucking tuning in, and for good reason too, because they have incredibly fun and stupid shit like this mini game. This one isn't as good
Yes.
as the other
So
ones,
good.
but it is the Bingo Plus guessing game where a ball will drop on a photo of a pit crew member. Let's hope you're right. Is there any skill involved? No, but you know what? It's still fun to watch. They get their Bingo Plus merch over there, and I remember like at first they're like, hey, if it falls on my face you get Bingo Plus merch, and later when he says, oh, you all won Bingo Plus merch, and then there's like silence in the edit. And also, I'm so sorry, Greg, I'm getting ahead of myself. When fucking Mama Pow walks in this workroom in
Yes.
this suit with these frill, this experience that I'm living in, it's so fucking good.
You know
Oh,
what? I watched that and I was like, oh, I wish I had that with me. I'd wear it to a movie premiere and then
oh,
I'm like, no, I just annoy everyone. I'd sit down and the
just
arms would just be terrible.
people in the
But I
way.
love
Yeah,
that. I love that
yeah,
outfit. You know what? That's a good outfit to wear at a wedding where you're like around a table and like it can
yeah,
sort of let itself out. I
yeah.
do also have to say, these pit crew boys came out in the skimpiest of like bikinis that I think I've seen so far on Drag Race Philippines. I could be wrong, but those were barely there. Like chef's kiss.
Yeah, a
Nice.
whisper of a thong, as
A
they would say.
whisper of a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So long story short, it doesn't kind of matter, but hey, it's down to Suki and Siam wins by standing over the right person that the ball falls on. Yay for Siam. We love good things happening
Woo!
to Siam, truly. They all win Bingo Plus merch. But now it comes time for the actual Maxi challenge, which is the Rusical Crazy Bitch Slaysians. And as part of it, Siam gets to assign herself whatever role she wants, and then gets to give a penalty to someone else, a disadvantage of someone who has to pick their role last, and everything else will be handled democratically. So she, I think, fairly and wisely decides to go with Venus because Venus already has two fucking badges on episode
Yep.
4. Makes a lot of sense to me. What were your thoughts about this process?
You know what I loved about this? Because this is the second time now we've had this on Drag Race, on Slaysian Royale, where Mama Pao says you have to pick one person who's going to be penalized. And I don't think I've ever seen this on any other international season. And I like it more than having someone decide the order. I like
Hmm.
this better because it means they're penalizing just one person and it means everyone else has to fight for the rest, which sort of lets the top person sort of off the hook from really being like overstressed about it, but still like creates inherent drama. I hope the US or other seasons sort of look at this and go, "Oh, we should try this." I think
Hmm.
this would be good. You know what could have used this? Drag Race Brazil. Drag Race Brazil could have really used it.
Yeah,
But
I would agree.
I will say I thought that I wrote down the characters' names and how it sort of worked out. Um, Rachel Achu, is that correct? Did I say
Hmm.
that right?
Yeah, for the
Uh,
lead.
which is the lead, and only Brigadine wants it. Like no one else wants the pressure, which was great, and she's happy. There's Mrs. Shell Yomask, and that was a fight between, or excuse me, an audition battle between
Hmm.
Suki and Yuha, and the confessionals in the have the queen saying no one really won this, and I'm like, actually, I thought Yuha won it, but then we'll get to the musical. I actually thought the right queen got the role.
I would agree.
Um, then there's I had her down as Latek Lee, but I guess she had a different longer name than that. That was the one that Arizona got.
Hmm.
And then Bernie got Doja Park, which no one else really sort of cared about. And then oh no, I'm sorry, Latek Lee was
That
oh wait, oh
ultimately,
no. So right, so Chef Lee come queen was Kitty,
initially Kitty. It was
was
initially
initially
Kitty.
Kitty.
Yeah.
And then Arizona wanted it. Wait, I got these all wrong. You know what?
It's
You have to fix this, Bernie. You have to fix this. You have to fix this, Evan.
so
This is what happens when you get up and have 4 hours of sleep and get on a plane. So what did I miss? I screwed this up.
it's okay. So, long story short, I mean, we can go into the exact specific roles on there, but
Yeah,
the key thing about it is that outside of very little rehearsal time, and we'll get to the actual challenge itself, but it's fun because it's a Rusical where every song is in a different style. So we get a little bit of Hamilton, we get a little bit of
yeah.
Madonna, we get a little bit of fucking Emilia Perez. So like it's kind
Wait,
of
which one was Amelia
Oh,
Perez?
I thought that was when it was Yuhua as the doctor. I was getting very rhinoplasty, yes. Like I was
Oh
getting
my God.
that kind of vibe from it. So, which I because I had to kind of clue in to a little bit of each one was, but this is like pure musical theater buffet. That's
Yes.
going out
Okay.
to everyone. But yes, Suki did beat Yuhua the audition, and then later on, Yuhua wins another
Yes.
audition, which is very, very cute. But most importantly, Kitty Space, who has this role as the chef, which she really likes because she likes cooking and she feels it's in her range. Arizona Brandy goes up to her, and obviously a little bit contentious over the lipstick thing. I was like,
Yes.
I would like this role. And it's like, well, I already have it. Okay, but can we listen to it? I'm not as like doing this whole song and dance number about it, and ultimately Kitty very kindly decides to switch roles, where now she is going to be the tech entrepreneur person, and now all of a sudden Arizona is now going to be the chef role.
So she does, I know Arizona stands, you're in the comments. She does guilt Kitty into doing it,
A little bit.
but Kitty wasn't pressed about it. She was like, whatever. She was
Yeah.
like, I can do the other role. She wasn't upset. She didn't feel bad about it. It was like, fine, I'll do it. She was almost like you could tell that like Arizona was like trying to clarify for the cameras, like, really, I'd hope if it's okay. And she's literally like, nah, it's fine. Like, let's go move on. Like, it's all good.
Yeah. And it's like, and I think it's kind of a nice thing, but as we will discuss later on, there is definitely, as they were just talking about, this whole, what kind of
Yeah.
fraction or are you on kind of thing. Rehearsals go at like a clip pace. It is speed because this is a lip sync musical. They're not recording original
Yes.
songs. They're not doing any voices on it there. Kitty is in some upside down positions as she's trying stuff out. She could use more time, is what's heard. But then
She
we
didn't need it. She didn't
no
need it. That's
no.
Yuha just helping the producers. Like, that's what Yuha is there for. Yuha is there, and I love Yuha. she is literally giving the producers, she knows exactly what they want every time she sits down in confessional. And
Yeah.
they don't even ask her. I can just tell she's spitting it out. She sees every storyline they're doing. The one thing before we get through the rehearsals I want to say is, did you notice the one queen who's starting to pop in the edit who wasn't popping before in
Who?
confessionals?
Who are you clocking?
Who was sort of like being sort of like in the background in the first two episodes, and all of a sudden she's getting
Well,
a lot.
Bernie? Is that what you're
No,
thinking? Oh, who were you thinking?
Suki doll.
Mm.
Suki's getting a lot more screen time.
Mm.
Just saying.
Just
I'm not
saying.
sure. Just
Well,
saying. Anyway,
I
go
have
back
my
to.
opinions about the judging, and
Oh
Suki's
yeah.
judging a little bit later on, rest assured. Before we get to the main stage, though, the girls do sit down the next day and they're talking about it, and Brigadine goes on this whole thing about how after her season, and I was a little bit unclear about the specifics, but I think she was trying to move to LA, or at least trying to find. Like she was not happy with some of the way that she was received. She had issues with potentially being in drag, and then she was actually deported out of the country, or at least didn't make it past
I
immigration. Yeah, walk me through. Walk me through.
so I thought this was insanely timely because
Right.
now, granted, they did shoot this after the administration had changed and there was nothing had gone on in terms of what happened this summer, but
Mhm.
it was insane. It's going to be quite it's timely for people to watch it. I was very confused by her storyline, and please, anyone listening, this is not to disrespect anything she's saying. I thought I this is just an educated guess. I really want to know what happened. My guess is she had either she did one of two things. When she was in the US before, she made money and hadn't claimed taxes or done something, and then went back to the Philippines because she lived in the US for a little bit, like years ago.
Mhm.
Or she was coming and didn't have a work permit and they didn't believe she wasn't going to work. So they flagged her as someone who'd been here before, who worked as a performer, maybe
Mhm.
on an artist visa, and my that's what my guess it was. But I didn't get it as though my guess, the way she first said it was like, I tried to come and then they sent me home, meaning she landed and then they sent her home. Not that she like was somewhere in
That's
the
the
city
sense
and
that
got
I
picked
got
up
too. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
got
yeah.
deported. And I think now we all think that where she's like, oh, they picked her up off the street or like, no, I don't think she even made it into the country because of what had happened before.
Right.
But it sucks ass. It's
Mm-hmm.
really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just more but I do remember after her first season, and that's really what she's talking about was remember I remember watching that episode and the queens were not kind to her. Like they were sort
Mm-hmm.
of like mean. She hadn't lived in the Philippines in a while before they shot the season, and they were sort of like, you're not part of Obar anymore and all this stuff. And then she came back and she's sort of reestablished herself and she's part of the community and they all love her. But I do remember like people thought she was a fan favorite, and then she came in
Mm-hmm.
and it sort of flipped. And I was always a big Brigadine
Right.
and my friends who would watch be like, "Why do you like her?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It
Right.
was so weird. I was always a fan, so I understand the like BS she dealt with.
Right.
So I'm happy she's in a much better place. It was surprising to me that it didn't seem like Venus or Arizona knew this. Like they
Right.
seemed a little surprised by it. They weren't shocked, but in confessionals at least they acted like they didn't know, and it was like news to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. What did you think?
I mean, I think that her story is deeply relatable, and it's crazy too because remember she made it halfway through her season. I think she was like she finished
Yeah,
sixth overall, so like she did well. I liked her a lot. I have no idea why people wouldn't rally behind her. But then you have Zimba Ding, you have the whole House of Ding. Like
yeah.
there's a very talented drag family backing her, and I guess that she's also made a lot of inroads with U.S. queens. I know she's like friends with like the
Hmm.
Vixen. She's in Sasha Velour's house. Like she's done a lot of westernized or just dealt with a lot of Western drag artists during her
Yeah,
time too. So it is interesting that if she was not able to get into the country, then this shouldn't necessarily be her only outlet in able to tour drag because obviously these queens, you send them anywhere in the world, they're going to perform the house down. No one performs quite like a Filipina girl. But truth be told, the fact this really felt like more of a grounding moment of like this is very important to her because she needs this to a degree. She needs to either
yeah.
reestablish herself. So it was a very interesting part of the narrative to see and her to get that part of the edit. So yeah, I was just fascinated.
Also, yeah, me too. Also, there was one other little thing, Evan, that
Mhm.
sort of got brought up that sort of surprising to me that hasn't been heard for a while. You had brought up DragCon LA. Do you remember DragCon?
Yes.
Do you remember DragCon, Evan? Do you remember DragCon UK? There doesn't
Yes,
appear to be a DragCon UK this year.
that's
There's no
crazy.
there's no drag, and that's the one that shocked me. Like I
Right.
was by now they would have announced it, they would have had it all set up and ready to
Uh-huh.
go. And I don't know if it's because WoW is having to put, sorry to go on a tangent,
No,
but
you're
like
fine.
WoW's having to put all their money into making these shows without partners, or I don't think they ever lost money, but maybe they I can see in the US them thinking like we're not going to get the sponsors, or we maybe they fished for the sponsors and they couldn't get it in LA. But in the UK, I thought they'd be a-okay. I thought they'd be
Right.
totally fine. I also feel like they could have moved it to Paris and it would have been fine.
Given the response that they've been getting over there,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and a
Yeah.
ton of like UK fans would have come over. Like it's so easy. Like so, I'm sort of shocked. I'm like I'm surprised, but I'm also surprised they let that stay in the edit. Like they didn't have to. They could have figured it out. Like I was on. They could have edited it so that she didn't say, "Weren't you on your way to DragCon LA?" But they kept it in. So I don't know.
Well, I
Weird.
mean, the other thing, and I'm so sorry, fans, we will keep talking about the
Yeah,
show in
yeah,
just a second, but it is interesting that for all of the things that they've tried via virtual sponsorships, a lot of stuff seems to either be closing down or at least loosening up in other ways. Like, think about it. If we
yeah,
don't have the DragCon LA, don't have we had DragCon New York for a hot second too. Let's not forget. We
yeah.
had House of Love cocktails for like a good 2 3 years, and those are no
Right.
longer in existence. But now we have her talking about DragCon in the edit. Let's not forget in Brazil, they mentioned Dragula, which I thought was a little bit contentious. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain things that are loosening up a little bit in terms of the ecosphere. So I almost wonder if WoW is viewing itself more as a united entity. Let's also not forget the announcement of the Pinoy Girl group that they had to go along with the Slaysian Royale,
Right.
had the biggest lateral premiere they ever had on the app. Like, I think they're truly trying to be more of an independent entity and maybe less so with sponsorships or deals or things like that. Let's just be a little bit more focused. So there's been a lot of push for the Vivian documentary as well, which has been
Yeah.
like they've had some
Which
documentary
was
stuff.
also mostly paid by BBC. Like that was like a co. It was mostly them. So
Okay.
that's a combo thing. But I do think no, they have the company makes a lot of money. People for our Filipino listeners, they make a very popular show on Bravo here called $1 Million Listing, which has been a benchmark of Bravo reality television for over 15 years. So I don't know what's going on, but I will say this: if we don't have a DragCon LA or DragCon UK because we're having Down Under versus the World, I would rather have DragCon than Down Under versus the World. But I will say to our listeners, or you can message us or on Instagram or send us an email. What Filipino queen do you want on DragCon? Sorry, on Drag Race Down Under versus the World. Who's left that you feel like send them to Australia or send them to Portugal? I don't need to see them on Slaysian. Let us know who you think should be on it.
All I can say is that given the response so far, if they ever do DragCon Manila, Greg and I are getting a booth. I don't know what's
Yes.
going to
Oh my
happen.
God.
We will
They're
get a
gonna.
booth. Please, we will entertain your comments in person. But speaking of people that are entertaining comments, let me tell you, walking out on the stage, Mama Pow for the Runway has a wild and
Oh,
gorgeous
love
headpiece.
it.
My goodness, it was wonderful. But my God, everyone was operating on Dudu Bertolini levels of insanity. Khaled Karen Jervy writes and is in this elaborate, like kind of almost like clamshell kind of
Yeah.
piece. Like it's very beautiful and gorgeous. And after showing up in Boy last week, Pangina put in some goddamn effort and it has this giant rim. That is going around. It is quite the rim job, I must say, that
Do
she
you,
has happening on her outfit. She looks great, genuinely.
Do you think she was in
Genuinely.
such a bad mood because one, she thought she was only showing up for one episode. They told her she's doing two, and or the other outfit didn't arrive. That's my two
Oh,
storylines. That's like
oh.
the outfit didn't arrive in time, or it wasn't ready, or something
You know
like
what?
that.
Let's bounce to U-Haul. U-Haul, what happened over
Yeah.
there? Feed the producers what we need. They look great. They look great. Anyway, crazy bitch Slaysian starts up, and I. So here's the thing that's kind of fucking wild for me is that they talk about how some of the girls didn't hit the lip syncs during some of the critiques later on. I don't know what you were watching, Greg. I thought a lot of them were not hitting the lip sync. And part of that was that I'm
Oh,
not sure if they just had such a limited time frame in which to learn it. But like out the gate, the opening lines, I felt like Brigading wasn't fully on. I felt like even Venus wasn't fully on.
yeah.
So like it was a little bit more obvious when you look at, say, Kitty Space during her routine, where she has a lot of personality, but just not as much lip action. And then when that's going on with this whole elaborate thing, Kiana still found time to not only perfect the lip sync, but also hit every piece of choreo and learn how to fucking kick a
Well,
board. Like, it's
I want
just,
to talk about
yeah.
this. I want to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
each
yeah.
number because I made
Okay,
notes on all of them.
okay, okay.
So, the thing with Brigading is overall, I thought she wasn't good at the beginning. She
Same.
came out for the beginning and she did not. It's not that she didn't look at the audio. She didn't look at
She
the
didn't look at
camera.
camera. She was just
She
like
looked,
over here,
and it
over
was looking
here.
at her
Yeah.
dancers or whatever. And I would have forgiven it if she was looking at the judges or looking straight out to like the
Right.
audience, which is fine. Again, she's doing stage. She's not doing television where you're supposed to look at the other actor. You're supposed
Yeah.
to play to the audience. And I was like, all right, this is fine. And
And
then I
as we
did think,
know, editors could have been a little bit more generous to
yes,
that part, but she didn't
they
really give them
couldn't.
anything to
Yeah.
work with. Right. Yeah.
And I will say her second round was good. I
Hmm.
did not think it was blowing me away. And again, I'm a fan of Brigading. I want her to do well. I was rooting for her when she was announced. But I didn't think she was top two. But maybe that was the runway. We'll get to that down the road.
Right.
So Bernie was fine and flat. I didn't think she bombed. I didn't think she was horrible, but I was like fine. And she's doing like a very Bernie number, to be honest. Like the
Hmm.
character she got sort of worked for her. But Kiana, you're right, comes out and she kills it. Like
Right.
she knocks it out of the
Murdered it.
park.
Murdered the goddamn stage. Like, it's the
And
thing, as much as like I don't want to necessarily subscribe to Kiana's great, Kiana's amazing, she's obviously one of my biases for the season, but then she just puts it up week after fucking week. Like, I don't know what y'all thinking, because she's
and also
murdering it.
I did not think she was the only queen who was like semi-robbed, but we'll get to that.
Hmm.
So, and then Kitty comes out, and here's the thing: I realized this with Kitty when I rewatched her lip sync last week.
Hmm.
I think they are misconstruing, and this is a problem if you're a lip sync artist. I think they are misconstruing. They think Kitty doesn't know the words as to Kitty's physical mouth does not always enunciate because of just what her mouth is. And there are
Hmm.
many queens who are like this. And it's often exaggerated when you're on a stage and you're further away.
Hmm.
And her makeup as well doesn't like always allow her eyes to be seen. So she can't sell it with her eyes because I think she even had like it was a weird thing. I
Yeah,
actually
it was a
thought
smaller, yeah, yeah.
I wrote Kitty was good. Like I didn't think she was bad. I didn't think she was in the bottom.
Right.
And
And
that
the thing
was
is, her lip sync wasn't great, but the mannerisms that she had, the personality, the little
yeah.
punches, like she had a character solidly, more so than Bernie, if I'm being real. Like,
And then yeah, oh 100%. And then Arizona comes out and I listen, everyone who's been listening knows that like Arizona isn't my favorite queen, but she killed it.
yeah,
Like this song was perfect for her. It's super charismatic. She sold it. I think probably only Venus might have like done this song this good. Maybe you actually Yuha could have done this song really good. I
mhm,
don't know if the rest of the queens have the person. You had to sell this song with
right.
personality. And she did, and her performance, by the way, was personality, like how she did it. She was great.
Yeah,
Um, and then Yuha came out, and I have to be honest, Yuha made me smile. Like I
yeah,
thought she did this really well. I thought that I didn't think she was going to win the episode, but she wasn't low. Like this was safe,
right.
hands down safe.
But it was also the shortest number per what I could clock. I think she was on screen for
Oh, was it?
like 30 seconds. Like it felt, at least to me, it felt like it just breezed right on by. So it's like, oh, save for the week. Like, because if you didn't just destroy
Well,
it,
then
then other people, yeah.
she was smart to fight for the second one. Because remember she lost the first one.
Hmm.
And then up was Siam.
Hmm.
And I was so her character was not pregnant at the end of it? Like was that the
Yeah,
like
she got
surprise?
punched in the stomach,
Got
dude.
punched
Like,
and then like it was supposed to fall out. I would have clocked her for like not selling that, but I thought she was good. I also
yeah,
think this is a case where one of the queens and Siam, you know, we love you.
we love you, Siam.
She didn't seem like she knew all the words the whole time, but she also, as much as I love her, kept doing the same Siam like pose with the leg to the left and the hand up
Yeah.
the leg, which I love. But it felt like this was a little stretch of her current.
Siam, who is she? I
Yes.
mean, she is who she is. She's so
Yeah.
unequivocally who she is. It's almost like a Gia Gunn. It's just so in the such a specific lane of
Alyssa
what she is.
Edwards.
Exactly. Like she's
Yeah.
that like level of individual, but there's just not enough deviation that you see out of there. There's no doo-wah.
Yeah.
Like it's like you want that little bit of a push. So I could kind of see why things worked out the way they did this week.
So Suki comes up, and Suki has the serious. She's playing basically the Michelle Yeoh character,
Yeah,
and the serious one. And here's the thing: Yuha would have sucked at this. She would not have been able to pull this off. This is not in her
100%.
wheelhouse.
100%.
But I didn't think Suki was like great. Like I thought she was good in it, but Arizona would have killed this. Venus would have killed this. But that's just my opinion. What did you think?
I thought she was so fucking robbed this goddamn week.
Wow.
Because the thing,
Whoa.
I equate this for anyone that watches U.S. Drag Race. I think about the Wig Loose musical from season 15,
Yeah.
when the winner of that week was Anitra, because she had the serious song that she had to sell through dance and be a little bit more thing.
Right.
When I saw Suki in this role, she didn't ham it up. She didn't have faces like there was seriousness. I actually felt with the way she was performing, there was actually, I felt like more of an empathetic like connection through it. And a role that didn't necessarily need it, but she really pushed it. So like I thought she did really good. Like she was between this and then her runway, unquestionably was a top of the week for me. So that's why I
Wow.
have a little bit of a thing on here. And like, listen, I am a
I would
Suki
have had
stick.
her.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I would have had her high because of the runway, which we'll get to, but I still, whoa. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
think
thought she
I,
was one of the better performances flat out. So anyone can fight me in the comments, but I
it's
genuinely
okay.
thought she excelled this week, truly.
So my queen, who I thought was robbed, was the last performance or second to last performance, and that was Venus. I thought Venus, when she came out and did that number, was a fucking star. She made me want. I don't mean to sound like a Venus stan, but she was just so good. I think they gave her the absolute worst costume out of every single. It was like a bodysuit with a tarp, and I'm like, why are you making her look so bad? But she did the wig reveal. She
She
was
did
smart enough.
800 wig reveals.
Right.
And like it's that little bit of character work that she didn't need to do. I don't even who knows, maybe she did it herself, but
Yeah.
it works so well because every time I look at her like, "Oh, it's pink. Oh, it's short." Like it's just like it just added that little spice to a role that otherwise would have just been serviceable. I thought it was very smart of her.
She's just she is a star. Like I
Yeah.
just love watching her.
Yeah.
Um, but then it's time for the runways. And this runway is what was it? Face something? It's Two
Happy
Face?
Face-tival.
Happy
Which I,
Face-tival.
from what I understand, basically this was, can you do a runway look with one more than one face?
One more than one face.
And that's the sense that
Which
I got from it.
okay, so do you mind if I run with it really
Go
quick?
ahead.
Okay, so up first was Brigadine, and I have to say, this look inspired by the churches of the Philippines was incredible. It's the best thing I've ever seen her in. It was
Done.
so good.
Done.
Uh, in a runway of a number of great runways,
Yeah.
freaking awesome. Following her was Kitty Space. So here's my thing with the Kitty Space one.
Okay.
From the chest up, I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved the detail on the faces. I thought whatever. Mama Pow was right to clock her on this. She does this sort of same silhouette where this needed to either be a full gown or
Mm-hmm.
it didn't need to be the same like sort of tiny skirt, pseudo skirt thing that she
Yeah.
had before with the jets off the hips. Like she does that a lot. And maybe she just got unlucky in the order of the runways,
Fully.
but she needs to know like you can't do three of them. Like do two
Right.
that look.
Yeah.
Like and then up next was Bernie. Now, so here's the thing about Bernie's look. I'm gonna pull a Raven. I did not love how the bodysuit did not go over the feet at the end. Like that was a
Okay.
big deal to me.
Hmm.
Bruno would have, from Brazil would be very upset. But in general, the entire look itself, I fucking loved it. Like I
Thank you.
thought it was
Thank you so
wow.
much. I thought it was
I
fantastic.
I
Yes.
literally, Bernie, if I can buy that off you, I will wear that for Halloween. I love and I love the look of it. I love the faces. I loved her wig and the makeup. It was so good. And
Now,
I'll be honest, if I'll be honest, if Arizona had said, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but fuck it, had said that she saved her because her runway was so good, I would have been okay. I
yeah.
get it. Like that would have made more sense to me than, she's my friend and I'm saving her friend. Um, or track record or whatever. And speaking of Arizona,
Well,
So
wait,
here's
wait,
the thing. Oh no,
real
go
quick,
ahead. I'm sorry.
real quick. The one thing I will say is that as much as she was still not as bad as last week on the critiques, but Pangina did clock that Bernie was wearing just red stripper heels for this look, and
Right,
like
and because
I
she
didn't see
needed
that
to
initial
co-
exactly, and it's like once I saw that, yeah, it did kind of cheapen it. I just loved
yeah.
every detail of it. But yes, anyway,
No.
Arizona.
Arizona. So here's the thing. I don't understand the criticisms that some of the other queens got for their looks when Arizona, like I liked the headpiece, but
Headpiece
the
was great.
dress was not that great. Like it
It
was not like that
It was
interesting.
drag closet. It really
Yeah.
was. But I mean, the thing is that like the effect, it was effective because it really draws the eyeline up when you have all this black, and then the only splotches of non-black are going to be this face thing. Okay, sure, it's really highlighting the face. The face prosthetic is good, but what about the rest?
It's actually not that good. On the right hand side, you can see the like
Like the
neck of the
seam.
other. Yeah,
Oh.
like it. I didn't. I again, not. I thought Arizona was fantastic in her performance. I
Hmm.
did not think the love. I felt they were trying to get overdo the love here for this runway, which I did not think was more than fine,
I
especially
would
when there
agree.
were so many great ones.
I would agree.
Um, Speaking of interesting runways, so I am very confused. So Kiana comes out with a what she says is a substance inspired runway, and it
Uh-huh.
sort of is. Where were the other heads? Someone told me they were on her legs, but I didn't see them, and I looked twice. Did you see
So
them?
not heads, but I did see faces that were
Where?
trapped. They were trapped on the chest piece or like kind of on the side. Like
Okay.
sometimes it was more of a suggestion of a face. It wasn't like a full bore like what we saw with fucking
Last week with the
ellipse.
ellipse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like so that was kind of the part of the problem, but the other thing is that okay, it was substance inspired. This isn't Monstro Eliza Sue. I'm so sorry.
No,
This
no. I got it though. I got
I mean,
that.
I
I
got
got
it.
the
It felt crafty in a way that fucking Kiana of all people, usually is not. And
I
that's
didn't
why I
think
was a
it
little
looked
disappointed. Yeah.
I actually didn't think it looked crafty. I just thought that you couldn't see the faces. I
They
thought
weren't
that
as clearly defined as some of the other
they
looks,
weren't
for sure.
and I thought and she seemed like I thought this was 100% why she wasn't in the top 3. Like
100%.
just hands down
100%.
because everyone else did multiple in some way did them. And I don't know if she just overthought it or she had this from like a horror thing
She
in her
thought subtlety
like
was going to sell it
yeah,
instead of being
yeah.
overt, but also it's fucking drag. It is also Slaysian. So it's like, come on.
So the irony is Miss not having the
Oh,
greatest runway collection after doing bootleg opinions for 7 years,
years.
6 years. Yuha comes out and her substance runway is actually more sort of slightly more accurate, more what they want for the runway. And it was fine. But it
I
was like better substance than Kiana, but like it was
Yes. She lost me with the fucking mug, dude. Like, if you're going to go to all this monster prosthetic work right here, you're going to have faces integrated to
yeah,
you and you're fat and the dress is torn, but you're just gonna have a beat fucking mug. Like, I'm sorry, it just felt ill-conceived. And also, we were spoiled because of Drag Race France, because
yeah,
Ellipse did this look 8 million times better. Like
yeah.
fucking gorgeous, fucking incredible, exactly what I wanted from it. And to have two substance-based runways in a row is that's just rough timing, and neither of them were great. And like it's just
No.
it sucks that that's how it
Oh my
played
God,
out.
how many substance runways are we going to
Oh,
have on
how
Drag Race season
UK?
17 in
Oh
the
my
UK?
God.
No, don't
Yeah.
try it, UK. Don't even try. We don't want to see it. Don't. We know
Ah,
Canada will have one. Someone will do it.
God,
Someone will
I
do it
know.
on I don't know if Spain actually shot last December, January. So I don't know if the movie had
Probably.
come out yet in Spain yet. So me, probably not. But on Dragula and Titans every other week.
God, I
Um,
know. Ugh.
but
Anyway,
which, by the way, talk about like a movie having
influence.
impact, like
Yeah.
unbelievable. But so then our girl Siam comes out, and I actually wrote and when she first turned the corner, I was like, Siam! I loved
Uh-huh.
it. I was so excited, and then the head fell off, and I was like, oh no, Pangina is there.
But
She
spoiler
is
alert.
never gonna let her like live
Spoiler
this down.
alert. when she's called safe later on and she has this giant wooden cage thing on here, it's separated already. You can see
Oh,
that it's already broken when she's called safe, which is like quite the move. But also, it's
quite the
like
move.
she already was in the top once, so it's like, yeah, I kind of get
Well,
it. And
that was
also,
also like after they'd
yeah,
gone to the workroom and they'd done all sorts of things. Okay.
yeah. So,
And then last but not least was Venus. And
whoa,
I
whoa,
actually,
whoa,
oh no, who did
whoa,
I miss?
girl.
Oh, Suki. Oh my God. Sorry, I looked on
Oh,
the first one. So Suki comes out,
Jeremy.
and I actually wrote in all caps, Jesus Christ. This is what
Holy
we were waiting for, Suki.
fuck.
This was so incredible. So good.
Jesus Christ. This is one of I mean, she's brought a lot of great looks already. There's
Yeah.
been a lot of great looks already on this season. I don't know if this is like the top of it, but it needs to be in the conversation because Jesus Christ, when I saw we've seen a couple already, a couple multi-face things, even in Drag Race France too. But like the that clear red line that she had, the traditional wooden sandals, like she's in no,
Yep.
Japanese no theater or whatnot, connecting with just a different Asian part of herself than what is we're usually seeing represented on these runways. Sh Gorgeous, stunning. This is part of the reason why I mean I think her performance was good, but even if it was just okay, the runway would almost bring it up for me because it's just
Yeah.
so fucking spectacular. Absolute knockout. If she's gonna be in the edit more, good reason, because fuck me, dude. It's so goddamn good. Oh.
So good. And I can't believe I forgot it because it was my favorite runway of the week. It was so good. But then last but not least, in a runway that I don't understand the criticism she got later on was Venus. And what I loved about it is it was transformative, is
Yes.
that she did the prompt. It was multiple faces. They were all of her, sort of in a portrait frame, like a portrait frame. And
Yeah.
then she dropped the frame and it became a dress on top of her, or like
Mm-hmm.
a I don't want to say a tarp because it was more cut than that. It was more
Right.
designed for that. And I thought it looked great. And
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I and then later anyway, we'll get to the criticisms.
Yeah.
So uh we find out that the highs and lows of the week are Brigadine, Kitty Space, Bernie, Arizona, Siam, and Venus. Yuha, a shocked Kiana, and Suki are safe. Suki doesn't really react, but I think she thought she might have been high too, so she might have been upset.
Yeah.
Yuha's just like, they told me I'd be safe every week.
Hell yeah. Let's do it, baby. Yeah. Kiana, but Kiana's Kiana. I can't blame her, which
So,
might explain what
um,
happens later. Who knows?
I will say the only thing I was disappointed about is I want to know from the judges why Kiana wasn't high or
Mm-hmm.
even low. Like, it was it because of there was not enough faces on the like what was the on the outfit? Like, what was the decision behind
Right.
that?
Right.
Also, maybe I don't know if they just don't want. She did so well in the first couple episodes, they're just trying to even it all out, which is sort of what I feel is going on with Venus. But
Wow.
we'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
So,
Khaled
um,
Karen says it's one of the best runways she's ever seen on this entire show. And it's like
I
outside of like
don't
two
know if
or three, I don't know.
I don't
Some of
know if
them,
I agree.
yes.
Some of them, yeah, but like,
And other times we diverge.
yes, okay. I actually don't. She said that, and I was like, did you miss some episodes where you weren't? Because I
Yeah.
feel like there have been better overall runways on like Philippines in the past. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the fucking parade of like hometown style ones that we had
Yeah.
at the start was fantastic,
Yeah,
I
I thought it
thought.
was better
So
than this. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I still love it though. There's still quite a few surprises though. So yes. Anyway, we go into it.
Um, and they go through each queen, and they love Brigadine. They're just sort of raving about her and how great she was, and I was like, oh, I guess she's top two.
Hmm.
And then they get to Kitty, and they basically Pangina is sort of super critical about her lip syncing, and she wasn't as mean as she was last week.
Correct.
But part of me is like, something tells me that Pangina's good friend, Nikki Doll, might be like, girl, what were you doing? Like,
Hmm.
I thought it was still like, I know you need to do this for the edit to make sure she's at the bottom, but calm down. I thought that Khaled Karen was super nice to her. And she told her that she actually liked her performance, I think. I could be
Hmm.
wrong.
Yeah, I believe
And
so.
and then Mama Pao I feel like Mama Pao is one of the most voices of reason of any host that we have in any
Agreed.
franchise.
She's really good at
And
mediating multiple
yeah,
opinions because she had to deal with Jiggly Caliente, who was fucking
yes,
opinionated about shit.
yes.
Right? Yeah.
And she's basically like, I just, she's being
Rest in
honest with her.
peace.
It's like, I've seen this silhouette before,
Hmm.
which I can't disagree with that. Like, totally right. Um, and then after that was Bernie, and Mama Pao was honest with her, and she said, or was it Pangina who said she was
Pangina
flat?
was the one who specifically called out the issues that she had with the runway, and specifically how the faces didn't match her face. That was one of her biggest things with this whole face theme
Oh,
runway,
right.
is that these were just kind of generic doll-ish type things, not actually her face, which other queens had done. Which, by the way, Suki doll perfection when she had hers.
Yes.
But yes, so and I thought that was she was going into her like she would have one of her Thai girls,
Yeah,
genuinely,
she really was.
yeah.
Pangina's not getting invited back to be
Uh,
like, she is not going to be a guest judge on Drag Race Down Under because even Michelle's going to look over and be like, "Girl, no, we don't do this here."
Now,
Um,
Greg, I don't read the comments. However, I did read one from last week because we were talking about how harsh he was, and I saw someone had noted that like Pangina was just treating Siam like a mother, like when she's disappointed with
no,
her or anything else like that. I'm like, I could see how you would get that perspective, but the fact that she reserved that same level of vigor for Bernie is I
yeah,
it's a common theme. But also one last thing before we jump on this was she was a little pointed when she was hosting, but I really feel like when she's in the guest judge role, something is unleashed with
yeah.
her where she has to do something else because when she was judging her season, she could be pointed, but she was never this like dagger.
I'm going to be really honest, Evan. I tried to wipe away the hours I spent watching Drag Race Thailand, but now that if I dig deep, like sort of like my innie, like Severance, if I try to find out what those memories are, I think to myself, you know what? There were moments where I remember we talked about she was being super harsh,
Hmm.
like, and that she wasn't giving those queens. Remember, if anyone watched Drag Race Thailand who's watching this, that one of the problems with the queens just did not have a lot of resources on that
Right.
season. You could tell,
Hmm.
and it seemed like Panjan had never didn't. It took her a while to get to that realization as the show went on, and I just think she had been rough sometimes. But I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not convinced she's going to get invited back to us to do a lot of these. She does preface it, especially when we hit Siam, like we're on a Slaysian Royale season. Like this is All Stars. Like I'm going to be
Hmm.
nitpicky, and I'm like, girl, you're on Versus the World. I could have been super nitpicky there. Like
Hmm.
anyway. But after Bernie was Arizona, I think maybe I'm
I think
incorrect.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. And they love her. They thought she
Hmm.
was great. They love the outfit. They love how one of the faces is looking like, right at somebody else or looking at her. I can't remember exactly what they said. And I was like, oh, she's top two. Like it's definitely happening.
Hmm. Finally.
And then they talked to Siam, and I knew the criticism was coming because it broke down. But at least Benjana was honest, and she said when she came around the corner, she thought it looked great.
Yes.
And then, but she puts these like little daggers in. Like she's like, you have to, always like like was it perfection? Or you always have to like, be I think she used the word professional. And I was like, no, don't do that. Like don't
Right.
question her her acumen as an artist. That was
Hmm.
like, again, not as bad as last week, but
Not as bad
still,
as last week. She
yeah.
got definitely a bit of an easier cut on here, but that they also, had some criticisms of the performance, but even then, those felt kind of glossed over. But
Yeah.
for me, what was really surprising was genuinely the judging of Venus on this one here, because they're just like, love what you do, but this outfit, and it's like, it just felt. It was just one of those ones where like it happens every once in a while with a Rue when she just goes insane and loves an outfit that everyone else in the world is like, that got mech look really like, and
Yeah.
I feel like this is the one things here where it's like you're coming down on this like
Yeah.
fucking Shea Coulee's 3-in-1 that she did on All Stars 5, like just like you hate this, it's crafty, are you fucking kidding me? And so like I just didn't know what universe this came from. I guess it's like they're, again, we're nitpicky, but like, girl, come on, she's at the fucking top, what are we doing?
All I can guess is that somehow it looked worse in person. That's
Okay,
all
that's
I can
that,
guess. That
and that is
somehow
absolutely fair.
that
It read great on camera,
it
yeah.
read great on camera, and you know what, to make everyone understand, before they do, they're not going back and looking on the video screen. They're not like
Hmm.
seeing these runways come back down like as you and I are seeing them. They're
Yeah.
still judging on every franchise like how they see it. They're not
Yeah.
going back and seeing it. Um, so we have a top two of the week, Evan. Who are they?
My goodness, it is finally Brigading and Arizona. So Venus, even though she's in the top three, is left out in the cold, but that means we have a bottom two of fucking Kitty Space and Bernie. And this is our second time we have a Pinoy girl in the bottom. I'll just say I'm glad Siam's still here more than anything else,
Yeah.
truly. But I mean, the second that she was in the bottom three, like I have in my notes, I have my template that I use for every episode
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we do a lot of stuff, and so I always have winner, who's doing the lip sync, who's going home. I just filled out who's going home before anything else happened because I knew you don't need to tell
Well,
me. Yeah,
that's the one. If I have one criticism of this episode, is they just telegraphed it way too much at the beginning of the episode. Like
yeah,
they just I would have like pulled the brakes, pushed the
just a little
brakes on
bit.
that, like just a little bit. Like it doesn't matter. They've edited the whole season, but like that was a little bit like, hey, next time, like the audience is smarter than you think. Like you don't need to really tell them like what's going to happen in like 58 minutes, like
Hmm.
within the first 3 minutes. So we know what's going, but they do go back to the workroom,
Hmm.
and Kitty is genuinely shocked. And she knows that Arizona is going to send her home no matter what she says
Correct.
to her. And but Arizona, they when they talk, Arizona feels guilty, or because she took the role that Kitty originally wanted, like and
Right.
she begged her to do it. Um, and does that mean she will save her? And but and when they're talking, you can see that Arizona is prefacing it. She's basically almost telling Kitty like, I'm so like she's almost telling you like I'm going to send you home no matter what.
Right.
But I'm so sorry because I if I hadn't switched roles with you, maybe it would have been something different.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, I think the producers would have still found a way to put Kitty in the bottom somehow or whatever.
Hmm.
But and also I don't think Kitty could have pulled off the performance that character that Arizona had.
That is
Um,
correct.
but I did feel like Brigadine was being more fair when she
Hmm.
talked to them, and she talked about track record.
I'm
What did you
curious to see
think?
what happens next week. Right. For me, it was I thought that Bernie was not having the same level of meltdown that she had, but she was still that Arizona had last week, but she was still very much in her feelings. And it also kind of felt like overall this was kind of a thing that needed to happen where yes, the Pinoy girls are vulnerable. Like I think that last week it wasn't just a one-off. Like there might be one in the bottom two every single week. So I feel like overall as a group, they just needed to kind of experience that together because I mean again, how can you not fucking love Bernie? She's fucking wonderful and amazing. But at this point, I do have to wonder, is she going to win the competition? At this point, Kitty's already been in the top. So I
But
kind of have these questions. Go ahead. Yeah.
But yeah, but when Bernie was talking to, because remember Arizona was like, I need to hear a fire in
Yeah. Hmm.
in Bernie. I thought Bernie was just given like the standard queen, like I really am here. I want to.
I have so
I
much more to
didn't sense it.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't sense it, and I like I was if anyone had listened to our previous seasons of covering Philippines, I loved Bernie. I mean, I was a
Hmm.
huge Bernie fan. So I don't I don't know. I was a little like I knew where this was going, but I didn't feel like Arizona was ever going to not save Bernie. Like it
Right.
just was like so obvious.
Very, very much so. But I will say, when it's down to ready to pick the lip syncs, the lipsticks, first
Oh,
off, these outfits, anytime I see outfits like this, I'm like, what fucking song is it going to be? And then also Arizona, as I was walking towards the lipsticks, I was thinking about dinner. Just like she like
and
almost fell
Kung Pao
onto the thing.
chicken. And like
Exactly. Like
it was I have to say I laughed. I thought that was really funny.
it was
And I thought it
so
was a great way to break the tension. I thought it was really that was like one that was really good.
it
I
was
need
really
that
good.
to be like I hope someone puts that on Insta. I need to repost that. Um so they do the lip sync and do you know what the name of the song was? I forgot
Oh,
what it
it is a legendary song, the failed follow-up to
was.
Barbie Girl. And by not failed, I think it was a hit in the UK, it just wasn't big in the US, but Cartoon Heroes by Aqua. And I know this song backwards and forwards.
Oh, really?
This song is stupid. I love it. And I'm just like, how do you do this? And so we had two very different approaches to it. And I think it actually comes up in the confessionals they talk about wait till they see my characters, plural. Because guess what?
Um, I'm gonna just say one quick thing before we talk about it. This song was literally producers like, if we think Arizona's in the top, we want her to win. We're gonna play this song. Also, Venus too. If
Yeah,
Venus
yeah,
is in
yeah,
the
yeah,
top, we're
yeah,
gonna do
yeah,
this.
yeah. I was thinking
But
about who else
it's
could do
very
it.
their lane. Yuha would do actually a really good job.
You,
Yuha is a good
Suk,
lip syncer.
Suki.
Suki would not.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and that's maybe one of the only reasons why I'm kind of okay with thing happen. I don't know what she would have done. I would have been curious what Kiana would have done in this
Oh
situation, and
yeah.
and the fact that she was in the bottom, but I would have killed to see what Siam would have done with this fucking song.
Siam would have
Rest
won.
assured,
She
I
would have done something
exactly.
stupid and silly.
But hey, guess what? Did you know that the prop queen does a lot of props because
Yeah.
she's gonna. It was weird because like everything that Arizona did during this fucking song made sense to me. I
It
don't
did.
know what Brigadine was specifically doing because it's like she picked a character, a very specific
Yes.
monstery kind of thing, and then just stuck with it the whole time. And she was going around the stage, making unusual movements, but really committing to it. But it was just a choice. It was a choice.
But there
My
was a moment at
goodness.
the end with her, and I was like, "Oh, she doesn't even know what she's doing anymore. Like she's just, she's like, okay." I will say, Brigadine made the song feel longer than it was
Uh-huh.
because it was clear that she'd lost run out of ideas, like of what to do. I will say, this is a deep cut. Do you know who would love lip syncing to this song, Evan? Who you
Who?
know who would love?
Who?
Oh, you know.
Desiree
Who?
Beck.
No. Speaking of Poseidon,
Oh
Poseidon would love this.
God, kill me.
Ginger Minge would love this. Jinx Monsoon would love this. Poseidon would really love this. Um, Poseidon is sort of like half the queen that Arizona is in many ways, but this is sort of down her alley as well. So the lip sync
All drag is
ends.
valid.
I'll drag is valid. Um, sorry, guys. If you've been listening to the other one, Poseidon's really been pissing us off. Sorry. We love
Truly,
her.
we
I mean,
love
I was a
you.
big fan of Poseidon at the beginning, but like we're now 8 episodes in on
Oh,
Brazil. I'm
look, a
like,
blue
God
wig
damn it, Poseidon, you're
again.
driving us
Jesus
crazy.
Christ, I know. Anyway,
But
so yes,
um,
anyway,
the winner
who is the
is
winner? The winner. Oh my
it
goodness, I can't
is
believe it's
Arizona
Arizona Brandy.
Brandy.
Yeah.
And she's so excited because she has a root badge.
And
And
she
she
gives
has
the shortest speech out of any of these girls so far about
yeah,
why she yeah.
what did she do you remember what
Oh,
she said?
I
Remember
remember
what
she
she
said,
said?
"I celebrate this woman for everything she's going to do," which is, of course, a direct thing to how she's come
To
out as
either of
trans.
them too.
Right. I mean, yep, truth be told, exactly. But Greg, she does pull the lipstick. What is the shocking result?
It's Kitty Space. And I do have to say, Kitty was super classy about it.
Hmm.
But she did hesitate for a sec. Like she
Yeah.
was like she was sort of like did a little like jump. Like no, it wasn't a jump. She like sort of contained herself, I think, for a
Hmm.
second.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
trying to be super classy, and she goes over. And this used to happen a lot on US All Stars, where like the queen who like had sent someone home like cries and like holds them, and I'm so sorry. And Kitty just was like, okay, okay, I'm just gonna go.
Hmm.
And I thought she was classy about it. And then she goes into the workroom and she seems fine. Like she seems fine and she's proud of herself.
Right.
And the thing that I love the most is at the end she said, "I'm gonna come back and next time with tits or boobs or one of those lines."
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? I hope, to be honest,
Right.
after Soa getting to come back on Drag Race France All Stars, the
Uh-huh.
next time there's Drag Race France All Stars, that Kitty gets to come back. She might be
Absolutely.
out second or third, but like I'd still love to have her back.
She did good. That's a thing where
Yeah,
it's like there's a part of me that does wish she did longer. I didn't see a situation in which she was going to win the crown, but I will say that overall, like I felt like I got to know her so much better than on
yeah,
France. I felt like I got to see so much more of her personality and so much more how much she matured. She was in the top two, for the God's sake. Like
yeah.
she did what she needed to do, and I was very happy with that. So I am a little sad, but once again the Pinoy girls remain strong.
They remain strong. And we don't normally do this, but Evan, you and I decided beforehand we're going to talk just super quickly about the preview for next week because first of all, Alyssa Edwards is showing up as a judge. But beyond that, do you just want to really recap what they teased happened in the workroom?
The biggest thing they talk about is that Kiana is willing to put a grenade in the middle of the Pinoy sisters and is really going to ask the question of like, if it was up to me and we were going off a track record, I would have saved her. Like she just outright says that whoever you picked, this is not what I would have done. And it's like the other queens are like, girl, what are you talking about? But since it's a very nice play because after this whole friendship versus track
Hmm.
record thing that they were talking about early on, Kiana really was like, well, are we fucking doing this or not? And that's also number one, why I love Kiana. I don't even know how it plays out, but like this is why you fucking love her because she is unafraid to be outspoken about the shit, but she's also calling out potentially shady behavior because at this rate, it can't like if international girls are going to be going home every single fucking week, that's one
Yeah.
thing. But like she's I think potentially right to throw a grenade at it, and maybe that puts a target on her back, but also she's fucking Kiana. She can take it. Like it is one of the spiciest ones, teasers that we've had in a hot minute. Like I literally cannot wait for this episode.
I agree with you. And also, we still don't know who Brigadine picked.
Who do you think?
I'm going to be honest. She had been one of the ones talking about track record before, so it would not surprise me if she had also sent Bernie home. She would have been very upset about it, but I think that that might have happened too. But
Yeah.
anyway, but this is why the season's so good is
Right.
we're actually excited to watch what happens next week, as opposed to another current season where we're just really hoping they crown someone super quick. That's
Yep,
all we're gonna
that's
say.
all we can say. The other thing I will say though, before we wrap it up on here, because A, we wanted to obviously separate our coverage here, and
Yep.
thank you everybody for listening here. But I will say is that I feel like the drama, 4 episodes in, we're making some progress, and I feel like the
Yeah.
drama that has happened has been succinct. It's been the kind of drama that you like. I
Yeah.
feel like it is also because of this sisterhood that is in play. This drama does feel very unique to the season because I didn't have as great a sense of like in the UK versus seasons that the UK girls were as strong or as together on some of this stuff. Like it really feels like everything is just very carefully, it's unique to what the season is, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to it and why I'm kind of living for it. It's not out of pocket, it's not someone just dissing anyone outside of Pangina. Like it feels just so natural and like I'm living. I'm so living for it, truly.
Yeah, I would say after the first episode, I feel like none of the queens are playing to the camera and
Hmm.
trying to just be dramatic to be dramatic, which I find slightly refreshing. France was also this way too. No one on France
Hmm.
was really doing that. But I mean, we even got that on, All Stars 10. So like it's nice that it feels that's why it's a good season so far. And we have so many more episodes to go. And a lot of queen. By the way, they all got to go home. Like
Yeah.
they all can't stay. Like Queen's got to go home.
Hmm.
So it's going to get interesting.
I know. The only other thing I will say is that I'm just going to ask you this question because it changes week over week. Greg, who do you think is winning the season?
I still think Venus is winning.
Yeah.
I think they did not want her to be in the top again, and they didn't want her to be top two again because then it would have been too dominating, and they're trying to even it all out. But I
Hmm.
think she has been the most consistent, and she is giving the most star power. And either Kiana come makes a comeback over the next couple weeks and sort of like gets in front of her, or we're going to be a couple episodes down the road and Venus, it's just gonna be like,
Just a
crowning.
washout. I
Yeah.
mean, at this point, I mean, I'm still Team Kiana, but like at this point, like Arizona and we have Venus, but honestly, I still, per what you're saying, it can't be all English speaking girls. We can't have Kitty Scott Claus in the
Oh,
finale. Like I do think there has to be at least one spoiler, and I think that is probably gonna be Suki, and I
yeah.
would love that, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like also Suki's the most confident and like she's not overreacting to everything. And I think producers like that too. They don't want
Yeah.
they sort of like, okay, she knows what we're doing.
Right.
And also
Exactly.
like unless Yuha's like runways take a dramatic turn, I don't know how they would put her in the top four. But
Yeah.
I love her run. She's having fun. She's gotten further
Yeah.
than she did, by the way, on on
On
season
season
10.
10, exactly. Yes. And you know what? It's like she's having fun and we're having fun too.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for listening. If you could do us a super quick favor, if you made it to this far, please leave us a review, whether it's on the iTunes or the Spotify or the wherever. Follow us on our Instagram and on our Bluesky, wherever it is. We love hearing back from you, truly. And guess what? We're going to catch you on the next episode really soon. Truly, truly. Thank you very much, everyone. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.